Welcome to Master the Science of Miracles, where we will explore the ancient science of transforming your ideas into your physical reality. Join us on a thrilling adventure that pushes beyond the limits of conventional beliefs about what it truly means to be human, as we unravel the truth about how powerful you really are. In each episode, we will discover the elements of the reliable, repeatable, step-by-step process for making the miraculous and ordinary part of your life. This is your portal to the extraordinary. So let the adventure begin. And now, here's your host, Ron Matthews.
Welcome back. In the last episode, I talked about the fact that Master the Science of Miracles is a step-by-step process, and it really is. I'm going to go over these steps numerous times in subsequent episodes. So the steps are, number one, develop an excess charge of vital life force energy. Number two is create a vivid, multisensory thought form of whatever it is you desire, you most desire to do, to be, or to have. And number three, to send that thought form on a stream of this excess energy to your transcendent self. Now, there are a lot of steps in between that I didn't talk about, but those are the major ones. So today, in this episode, I'm going to talk about the idea of developing an excess charge of this vital life energy. So what is energy anyway? We all think of energy as electricity or gas or whatever the utility is that you use. The ancient indigenous cultures, the ancient mystery schools, all have this underlying belief that the entire universe and every component, from the rocks, the minerals, all the way to us humans and beyond, we are energy. And the thing that gives us life and animates us, gives everything life, is this elusive vital life force energy. Now, students of Chinese Qigong or Tai Chi or any of the Chinese martial arts know this energy as Qi. The Japanese, Korean martial arts, they know it as Ki. If you practice yoga, you're probably familiar with the concept of prana. And in Polynesian traditions, the word for this energy is mana. Now, truth be told, throughout the world, there are countless cultures, and they all have their own name for this energy. No matter what you call it, it's all the same. Chi, prana, mana, all the same thing. Now, we humans have the distinct ability, among all creation, to be aware of this energy. And not only to be aware of it, but to interact with it, to develop it within our own bodies, and then to use it to good effect. The way that we're going to go about this is to learn a more efficient, a more energizing way of breathing, because we take, after birth, after we're born, we take in energy in the food that we eat, the water that we drink, and the air that we breathe. In point of fact, we also either take in energy or we expel energy through our thoughts. So just like eating fast food or drinking carbonated soft drinks are not the best source of nutrition for us, they also aren't the best source of energy. In the same way, the thoughts that we think can either be energy-building thoughts or energy-depleting thoughts. And so we're going to be working with this throughout our time together here at Master the Science of Miracles. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is our breathing. We all have to breathe to survive. And as such, most people give no more regard to their breathing than they give to the leftovers that they throw in the trash. It's like a throwaway. However, in every meditation tradition, all the mystery schools of the past, breath played a primary role. Now, for most people, they don't breathe in the most optimum way. What I mean by that is they don't breathe in a way that fills the entire lung. So, if I were to stand profile and demonstrate the way most people breathe, they breathe so that when they inhale, the chest goes up like this. When they exhale, the chest goes down. When they breathe like that, when you breathe like that, when anyone breathes like that, you're only filling the top third or so of your lung. The rest of the lung capacity is stagnant air that never gets exchanged until you yawn or you heave a heavy sigh. All other times, you're just breathing up here. Now, I'm not going to go into all the ways that is not serving you. Instead, I'm going to introduce you to a different way of breathing. And that different way, I'm going to stand profile again to the camera, is I'd like you to begin breathing so that when you breathe in, your tummy expands. And then at the end of the exhale cycle, your chest rises, of course. And then when you exhale, your chest depresses and then your tummy contracts. So inhale and exhale. If you take nothing else from our time together but this, if you just make this breathing method the way you breathe normally, and it's going to take some work, but if you just start with 10 minutes a day of focusing on your breathing, breathing in and breathing out. So you breathe all the way down into your tummy. That's step number one, your breath. Step number two in this process is a little more elusive. And it borrows from the Eastern traditions of yoga and of Qigong or Tai Chi. Now, Qigong and Tai Chi are forms of meditation and healing and martial arts. But for our purposes, we're only going to focus on the parts of those disciplines that deal with increasing your vital life energy, your qi, your prana, whatever you call it. There are certain energy points distributed throughout the body. Now, if you are a practitioner of yoga, you're probably familiar with the idea of the chakras. And there are 7 of them, ranging from the base of the spine all the way to the crown of the head. In the Qigong tradition, there is the idea of seas, S-E-A-S, seas of energy. And there are 3. There's one this many fingers below the lower edge of your navel. There's one right at your heart, and there's one right here behind your eyebrows. And they're called seas of energy or seas of qi. Dantian is the Chinese name. We're going to focus on the lower one. So this one here, 3 fingers below the lower edge of the navel. That is called the lower dantian in Chinese, and it's the 2nd chakra in the yoga tradition. With all of these points, and most especially with this point below your belly button, when you focus your attention on them, and you breathe as though you are breathing into it, it begins to wake up. So what I'd like you to do, number 1, is to begin breathing so that Your tummy expands when you inhale, and your tummy contracts when you exhale. In addition to this, I'd like you to pretend, I'd like you to just make believe that when you inhale, you're inhaling all the way down into this point. And when you exhale, you're exhaling out from this point. Now, are you really breathing into this point? No, of course not. Because your lungs only go down as far as your diaphragm, which is right here. For ladies, where your bra line is. For guys, this is where the abdomen is divided, separated from the pectoral area. However, you're going to pretend, you're going to imagine that you're breathing down into this point and exhaling from this point. Now, as you're doing this exercise, as you're doing this, it's very useful if you take a couple of fingers and just press in and poke yourself there. Only with enough pressure to draw your attention to this point. And then spend 10 minutes a day. The morning is great. Evening is fine too, but carve out just 10 minutes a day to do this exercise. To breathe in as though you're breathing into this point, and breathe out as though you're breathing out from this point. When you do this, there's something that happens, and you'll begin to feel it. I don't know if you'll feel it in a couple of days or if it'll take you a week or so. But for 5,000 years, this breathing process has been practiced all over the world, especially in the East. As you begin this process of breathing into this area, breathing out from this area, you'll begin to sense subtle sensations of movement. It's almost as though there is something that's fluttering down in that area. In addition, your fingers may begin to tingle. You may begin to sweat under your eyes. The crown of your head may begin to tingle. If this happens, then pat yourself on the back, because this is an indication that that energy is beginning to wake up. You've woken that energy up. And when it wakes up, the next thing that is going to happen is it's going to expect for you to tell it what to do. My students are very tired of hearing me say, energy flows where attention goes. For all of us, no matter whether you're a career martial artist or a yogi or a yogini, as you begin to interact with this energy, it moves. When we are in a state of rest, when we are watching television, reading a book, having a conversation, not being particularly active, this vital life energy, which animates your body and your entire being, collects here. This is where the action is for right now. So as you begin to pay attention to it, as you breathe in, as you breathe out, that energy begins to move. And as that happens, and I'm going to jump forward a little bit right now as a preview of what's to come. As you begin to feel that energy, then start to play with it. For instance, if you were to place your hands over your heart and feel the energy follow, or to concentrate on your heart, concentrate on your fingers. And as they begin to tingle, that is an indication the energy is moving there, because energy flows where attention goes. So in the process of doing this breathing exercise, this new way of breathing, and this new way of focusing our attention on this point, we are beginning the process of building up an excess charge of this vital life energy in your bodies. And that's why I said, if you take nothing else from our time together, just take this. This alone will transform your life. You'll begin to feel like you have more energy to do stuff. Your concentration may increase. The other challenge here, and this is a good kind of challenge, is that the process of focusing your attention for 10 minutes will at first seem to be nearly impossible, because all of us are victims of what we have come to know as the monkey mind. Your attention is all over the place. On your social media account, on what we're going to have for dinner tonight. Did I turn the iron off? Is the checkbook balanced? All these things are going through our head. These are the thoughts that are there all the time for all of us. Everyone, including people like myself who have done this for half a century. Those monkey mind thoughts are still there, but we learn to ignore them. If you're reading a book, watching a great show on television, a car goes by outside. You hear the car, but you ignore it. A dog barks. You hear the dog, but you ignore it. That's how your wayward thoughts are. So this process of focusing your attention on a single point, and in this case, that point is this lower dantian, then you're getting two great benefits. One is you're learning to concentrate your attention, and your mind will wander. Please don't beat yourself up. Your mind will wander. That's all there is to it. When it does, you just say, oop, my mind wandered. Let me bring my attention back to my lower dantian. And poke yourself there again if you need to. That's fine. As you repeat this process, and it will take some time, you'll begin to notice that it's easier for you to keep your attention focused on this one point. And you're learning a new way to breathe, which is bringing more oxygen into your body per breath. And it's building up this energy which keeps us alive. That is the excess charge of energy we're going to be using to send the thought form of our desired outcome to our transcendent self. As always, thank you so much for joining me here. I so enjoy having this time with you. And until next time, make miracles an ordinary part of your life. Bye for now.